Are you thinking of starting your own business in Czech Republic, but don't know where to begin? Look no further. In this video, we'll guide you through the process of setting up a business in Czech Republic, from selecting the right legal form to obtaining necessary permits and licenses. Whether you're an entrepreneur, freelancer, or simply someone who wants to turn their business idea into a reality, this video is for you. So, let's get started. Hey friend, I'm so excited to hear that you're considering starting a business abroad. It's a big decision, but one that can bring great rewards both professionally and personally. As someone who's been through the ups and downs of starting a business in a foreign country, I can tell you that the journey is both challenging and incredibly fulfilling. One piece of advice I can offer is to keep an open mind and be ready to adapt to new circumstances. When I first moved to a foreign country to start my business, I had to navigate an entirely new business environment, different cultural practices, and a language barrier. It was a steep learning curve, but I learned to embrace the unfamiliar and to be open to new ways of doing things. Another critical aspect of starting a business abroad is to surround yourself with supportive people who believe in your vision. Starting a business can be lonely at times, but having a community of people who support and believe in you can make all the difference. Seek out like-minded entrepreneurs, join networking groups, and don't be afraid to reach out to mentors for guidance. Lastly, don't be afraid to take risks and be persistent. Starting a business abroad can be a challenging experience, and there will be setbacks along the way. But with persistence and determination, you can overcome those challenges and achieve great things. In my own journey, I faced numerous obstacles, from language barriers to cultural misunderstandings. But with persistence, hard work, and a willingness to adapt, I was able to build a successful business that has become a cornerstone of my life. In conclusion, starting a business abroad is a big decision, but one that can bring immense rewards both professionally and personally. Embrace the unfamiliar, surround yourself with supportive people, and stay persistent in the face of challenges. Best of luck, my friend. When starting a business in a foreign country, there are a distinct set of obstacles that must be overcome, which are specific to that nation. Such challenges could involve navigating differences in culture, adhering to regulatory requirements, and managing other related intricacies that may arise. In today's business landscape, it has become imperative for companies to expand their presence globally by launching businesses in foreign countries. This move may be driven by different factors, such as tapping into a lucrative local market, accessing a talented workforce, or streamlining import-export operations by setting up a physical presence in the target location. Regardless of the motivation behind this expansion, there are certain factors to consider when opening a business in a foreign country. To provide practical guidance, we have collected insights from employers who have undergone similar experiences and distilled their advice into some key takeaways. Know the local laws. Whatever the country you expand to, it's essential to know the local laws because the consequences can be dire if you run afoul of compliance. It's more than just signing contracts. David Jackson, CEO of software development agency and workable customer Full Stack Labs in Sacramento, California, took note of some of the legal requirements during his introduction to business, as done in Colombia. They have a lot of unique rules that you would never think about in the United States. For all new employees on their first day of work, you have to send them to the doctor and get a physical, he says, noting that this dates back to times when Colombia-based workers were primarily in labor-intensive jobs that required medical clearance. Even finding an accountant was difficult due to local legal requirements in Colombia. There's only one or two accounting systems you're allowed to use in Colombia, and they have to be approved by the government. Because of that, this one company has a monopoly, so it's really expensive to buy the accounting software. And the software is really old and outdated, and then I don't know how to use it. It makes it difficult for reporting. David notes that this continues to be a challenge. You can't just sign up for QuickBooks like you would in the United States. Everything is regulated. Christina at Artemis Canada emphasizes that while at-will employment can be a standard in many U.S. states, it's actually illegal in Canada. She adds, "We also have different norms for vacation and benefits, which is important in the competitive market for technical talent. Law is a minefield, no matter where you go. Of particular relevance is the right to disconnect. In other words, the right to not deal with work-related emails and other communications outside of normal work hours." France's precedent-setting El Khomri law, adopted in August 2016, offers employees and employers the opportunity to set expectations in regards to off-duty communications prior to tenure, with many other countries and U.S. states considering similar legislation. This especially becomes pertinent when a company goes international, with employees working across different time zones. Beyond legislation, it bears noting that some countries are accustomed to long work hours, whereas others are more inclined to clock out entirely at the end of the day, which could lead to miscommunications and misaligned expectations within remote teams. So it's best to implement a standard expectation across the entire company when it comes to communications outside of normal work hours, regardless of location. The need to fulfill a requirement or solve a problem often motivates people to create new solutions or ideas. Technology has played a key role in enabling organizations to work more globally, leading to the evolution of existing technologies. For example, communication tools like Slack have allowed remote workers to communicate quickly and efficiently, while video conferencing platforms such as Google Hangouts and Microsoft Zoom enable colleagues to have face-to-face interactions and deliver presentations across different locations. Workable's international presence has also helped companies develop successful hiring strategies across borders. David from Full Stack Labs highlights this, stating, "One of the things that's really nice about Workable is we manage all of our Colombia job postings in the same way we do in the United States. So we go in and we create a new job, we publish it to Indeed and to LinkedIn." He goes on to explain that the same candidate pipeline and hiring process is used for inbound applicants from LinkedIn and Indeed in Colombia as in the United States. Moreover, Workable's sourcing tool has proved useful in finding potential candidates in Colombia. David notes that the tool has a surprisingly good database of candidates in Colombia. Overall, technology has been instrumental in facilitating collaboration and efficiency among organizations, while Workable's international recruitment solution has helped businesses develop a successful hiring strategy across borders. Establishing a company can be a challenging undertaking, especially if you plan to do it outside of your home country. Due to the current trend of the US dollar appreciating against other currencies, a growing number of entrepreneurs are choosing to launch their businesses overseas. If you're considering starting a business in a foreign country, continue watching this video, as we'll provide you with the top 10 steps to initiate a business overseas. 1. Adapt your idea, perspective, and objectives to the local environment. For any enterprise, it's essential to integrate themselves into the community culture. Seek the aid of a coach or a local acquaintance who can help you comprehend the traditions and inclinations of the population in that area. 2. Learn the language. While it may appear to be common sense, mastering a foreign language can sometimes be just as daunting as launching a business. Nonetheless, even basic language proficiency is better than none at all. You can enhance your language abilities outside of formal classes by utilizing various applications or by socializing with people who speak the language. 3. Analyze the market, both past and present perspective. All entrepreneurs understand the importance of analyzing the competition before entering a new market. However, don't stop there. Study 5 companies that failed in their attempts to penetrate that market. Without learning from the mistakes of others in the past, people are bound to repeat them. 4. Create a new network. Upon relocating to a foreign country, your existing network becomes less valuable, necessitating the establishment of a new local one. Take advantage of the fact that it's easier to connect with new people in a close-knit community where there are fewer expatriates. 5. Recognize the environment. Despite the argument made by certain professionals such as Darren Kaiser that initiating a business overseas could potentially be easier, less risky, and more profitable than establishing one in your home country, it's still better to prepare for potential issues rather than relying on everything going smoothly as planned. 6. Determine and calculate expectations. Begin your work by identifying similarities between the markets you currently serve in your home country or abroad. Select locations where you can provide your products or services without the need to make significant modifications to comply with local regulations or laws. 7. Establish a budget. Although there are numerous reasons why businesses may fail, one of the most common reasons is insufficient initial funding, which usually occurs due to overly optimistic revenue and profit projections made by the founders. Establishing a new company can be challenging even in ideal circumstances, let alone when operations are in a distant location and the market conditions are unpredictable. 8. Look for a local agent. When establishing a physical presence in a foreign country, having a local agent or an attorney or accountant with expertise in international business law can be extremely beneficial. You don't want your products to be seized or your business to be shut down due to miscommunication or communication errors with local government officials. 9. Learn about the international money transfer. Conduct some research on the available options for sending money overseas. It's not advisable to solely rely on your bank for transferring and receiving funds unless you require a specialized service. Most of the time, using banks results in high fees and lengthy wait times for the funds to be transferred and appear in your account. 10. Address logistics problems before opening your store. The infrastructure that exists in developed countries is not present in many other nations. In some cases, there may be laws, taxes, fees, and trade tariffs that hinder the unrestricted movement of goods, both domestically and internationally, even when there are no physical barriers to their movement. By adhering to these steps, it is possible to establish a store in a foreign country. So consider every option and establish the shop. As an entrepreneur, you might feel limited in your own country. This could be due to cultural reasons, market saturation, or simply no demand for whatever product or idea you have in mind. So packing your bags and landing in a faraway land gives you a unique opportunity to share your leadership with another community. But how can you have an edge in a country that isn't your own? The answer is your mentality. When you go abroad, you are facing a completely different culture and way of life. But therein lies an opportunity. Local people might not see things the way you do. They might not see the solution to a particular problem simply because they didn't see the problem in the first place. But as a foreigner, you might see new paths and new ideas that resolve problems that would otherwise go unsolved. Moving abroad marks the beginning of a new journey, one that opens your mind to new markets and gives you the opportunity to become a leader in your chosen field. If you are the adventurous type and are willing to follow the advice we give you, you'll be more likely to succeed. 1. Plan ahead and be ready if things don't go according to plan. In the military, we say that no plan survives contact with the enemy. This rings true in the business world, too. Even though you might have had a plan worked out months or years in advance, the reality of being there in a different country might lay waste to your best plans. Always be prepared for a worst-case scenario. Many people don't do this, and they face great difficulties when things go wrong. 2. Have patience. We know the rules of our own country, we know the language, the culture, and the idiosyncrasies, but abroad we might not know any of these things. The culture, the language, and society's traits might be different from what we're used to. Crucially, we might not be aware of how bureaucracy works in this new environment, so we might face frustrating situations. I have one word for you: patience. Particularly at the start of your journey, a little patience will go a long way. 3. Be open-minded. Entrepreneurs tend to be dynamic, creative people. This is a great thing. When your mind is open to learning new things, you're likely to take a more positive and proactive approach to what you're doing, especially if you are doing it in a country that you're new to. There is much to learn when you go abroad, and an open mind is a great tool. 4. Surround yourself with a great team. Surround yourself with a great team of local specialists who understand the local mentality better than you. This is something I learned long ago. In business, you will not succeed alone, no matter how good you think you are. You need to team up with the right people, like-minded people, to help you set up and advance your business. A good local team is particularly important when you are starting a business abroad. Locals will know the country's culture and ideological tendencies much better than you. They can advise on what works and what doesn't work. A local team is an invaluable asset. 5. Respect the local mentality and culture and be humble. Sometimes we might believe that we know better than the locals, that we have it all figured out. If you think like this, you are likely to fail. Why? Because you don't know better than the people who have lived in that location all their lives. You will not immediately understand their mentality and cultural traits. If you go in with an air of superiority, you will fail. Instead, display humility. Let the new country teach you what you need to know, and very importantly, learn the local language as best you can. This will open up many doors for you. Be an ambassador for your own country. Even though you might be abroad, a little of your own country travels with you. Promote friendly relations in any way you can between your country and the one you're setting up your business in. This will ultimately help you succeed. 7. Believe in yourself and bring added value. This is perhaps the most important piece of advice. For a business to succeed, you have to believe it will. You have to believe that what you're creating has value and adds value to the community. Building a successful business, whether locally or abroad, tends to be about the added value, and of course it has to be profitable. No unprofitable business ever lasts. But profitability does not arise out of thin air. It needs good business acumen, some luck, and a great deal of planning. All these moving parts must sync up and spin in unison, like the wheels of a fine-tuned machine. To sum it all up, succeeding in the creation of a sustainable business in a foreign country starts with a carefully crafted plan. If executed, step by step, in the right order, your chances for that business to take off and become a success increase. Your well-organized planning, perseverance, belief, and personal effort can act as the seeds for a business to grow. May your entrepreneurial journey be filled with excitement, growth, and success. Remember to stay persistent, stay positive, and stay true to your vision. Good luck.